Welcome back to Easy to Spell, where the name is easy to spell, and we did it wrong anyway. I'm your Dungeon Master, Andrew. Joining me, as always, are fabulous heroes, beginning with Rachel,
Your badassamir paladin, Angel.
Will,
Warlock Tiefling Doman.
Mike,
Paragon Monk Sai.
Anthony,
Sir Quinnington, your half-orc fighter.
There he is.
and David.
We went through this in practice, and I still didn't think of anything else to say, so Wizard Gil.
Who doesn't really exist. Is that what we've decided on?
He's Wizard Gil. He's
Wizard
Wizard Gil.
Welcome back. We
He helps
are
wizards breathe.
rejoining our party at the highest tier of Avarice, the wealthiest district that only the upper echelon of nobles and apparently criminals can make it to. Criminals because you sort of absconded with one of the street gangs smuggling elevators to climb the spire. You executed the guy, Angel specifically, snapped the neck and tossed the corpse over the side into the elevator shaft of the person that was taking you up. You came out in a not yet open art museum that was being kind of prepared, capturing the dwarven keeper, the proprietor of the establishment, tying him up, throwing him in the elevator, shutting the door behind him. It is in this museum we come back to you, hunted by the Church of Crest, a church who you know is acting directly against the will of their god, the one god of the city. Gil and Yoshta had made their way out and gotten you all clothes to kind of help you disguise and blend in the highest trendy fashions available in the city, just to minimize the amount of attention you'll draw, considering currently your faces are plastered on every screen and poster with, I believe it was a 500,000 gold bounty for each of you. Moving against the church, who, Quinnington, you yourself were not here, though your character was privy to this. The party received a letter denouncing you as traitors to the city, traitors to the church, for your actions against Avarice and its people. You were given 3 days, 8 hours of which have gone by, to turn yourselves in. If you do not turn yourselves in, a list of the friends and family and, in a few cases, just individuals that have had contact with your group would be subject to death. This is the reason that you find yourselves here in the city, just trying to make this right, trying to, whatever your individual goals are, those are your own. But I'm going to hand the reins back over to you.
Right. We got everybody's changed, right?
Dom will throw his hood up and cinch down on the, I assume, hoodie straps to pull it in just a touch.
So,
Wave back.
Oh, yeah.
so Yosta, where do we go?
I have someone that might be willing to hide us for a bit. She owns, it's a place called the Empyrean Euphoria. She is difficult at times. I think it's best if I go ahead. If you guys want to sort out the city or get a bearing or just start working on it, I will work to make sure that we have a safe place to hide and retreat if we need to. I'll see if I can get in touch with Sandkist. If they know anything, if they can point us in any directions. I haven't been up here in a while.
Just take your time and stay in the shadows. Remember, our pictures are everywhere.
That's not a problem for me. And her face changes, and she kind of adopts the kind of dark, pallid skin tone of a dark elf. Her hair becomes white and longer, just changing her entire look. Remember, the Empyrean Euphoria. Voice has changed as well. I'll see you there. And she walks out the front door, shuts behind her.
Do you think her entire family can do that?
Maybe. I mean,
Can't believe it
genetics.
just occurred to me.
Rachel,
now.
you're muted again.
Sorry. I don't think so. It did not seem like Baldur could do anything like that.
Leastway's not when he was hammered. Anyway, that's not what we're here to solve.
I think what we need to do is spread out and get a lay for the area of the city. See if we can track down which areas have the temples and what our guard posts seem to be like. Those sorts of things. Does anybody have
still
any
need-
other ideas?
We do still need to work our way up another tier, don't we?
And eventually,
So
yeah.
the point you are at on the spire, there's one more tier up, and then the actual like central spire.
So if we're going to get up, we need to know how to.
Well, we'll need that information, yeah, but I doubt they're going to do the execution on the top tier. They're going to make an example of everyone.
Good, yeah. But if we can get them out pre-execution, that'd be ideal. So if we can get them out while they're being held,
Which probably
Maybe
isn't
it's-
at the top.
I don't know. So I guess that's our first step, isn't it?
Would,
Figure out where everyone's at.
would I know
Where
if
they're
there's
being
a
held.
prison at the top of this?
I'm just gonna give it. There are like different holding cells and stuff. On the ground level, the terrace tier. The criminal elements of the upper tiers, while they exist, are pretty buried. Like nobody wants to acknowledge that anybody that's made it up here would have any criminal connections. So prisons and things like that wouldn't exist. I'll take from Quinnington specifically if you want to make a religion check or a history check.
Okay, yeah, those are great. Those are real high rolls for me. Let's try a history check, and I get a 7.
7.
That's pretty good.
Beyond that, like you have a lot of experience with like the military and the guard posts and stuff. But if there's a hidden prison in the upper echelons of Avarice, it's not anything you've ever heard of or had contact with.
Okay.
What time is it right now? Is it like daytime, nighttime?
It's probably like mid-afternoon. You guys got back pretty early in the morning and then spent most of the day kind of getting up into here. So when I say the museum is closed, has closed for the evening.
Okay. While we're in the museum, can I look around and see if there's any scripting or secret messaging and like any thieves can't, I guess essentially is what I'm looking for, where we came up through the
Yeah, give me a
lower
perception check.
That would be a 14.
14. There is one box kind of in the back of the storeroom that you guys came out into that has a few markings on it, valuable, marking it as something that is hiding illicit goods.
Just want to kind of look at that then and see if there's any sort of trap or anything on there that would keep me from
I'll give it
accessing.
with your existing perception check. There doesn't appear to be any traps or anything. It's just a marked box.
Okay. Can I pry it open and just see what's inside?
Easy enough. It pops open. There's a few like the tubes that they keep like paintings and stuff in just while transporting. You pop the top off of one of them, and it is just packed with drugs. They're smuggling the good stuff up to the nobles and elites.
Gotcha. I'm actually going to take one of those and just put it in my bag.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Ooh, thought that was
Give
going
it a-
somewhere else. I'm
you
just
gotta-
going to take some of that. So,
Like, all right, Sai's having a hard time. Yeah, I'll figure out what exactly those drugs might be, just kind of in the background while we go.
Yeah, I'll just call it
But
tube
mark
of
that
drugs.
You can just mark that you have a poster tube full of drugs. Ooh.
And I'll just kind of shake it to everybody else and just be like, I'm wondering if this might help us get past somebody at some point.
As a bribe.
Yeah, as a bribe.
Oh,
Or,
yeah, I was
blowing
gonna
it
say,
in
if you
their
take it,
face.
it's not going to help you at all.
Here we go. It is Dream Lily,
Dream Lily.
and you have about 100. We'll say 100 doses.
how long have we been in here?
Probably about 20 minutes.
Okay, during that time, would I be okay to cast Find Familiar as a ritual?
Yeah.
At least doing that point.
Yeah. What is the familiar?
Then I don't know. I gotta look. I don't
Okay,
remember
I'll
what
let-
familiars
we
there are.
won't put you on the spot.
So I guess we should probably wait till night, right? It's easier to sneak around in the dark.
Sure, but again, is our goal to locate people, or I think that's the smartest first step. Did we come up with anything else?
I mean, I guess locating people, seeing the patterns guards take.
Maybe jump on a few if we can.
Getting some cloaks. That
Yeah,
sounds like a
undercover
good
wouldn't-
idea.
Undercover wouldn't be a bad idea.
Do we want to split
I
up
think,
or
I think I should probably take off my armor.
We're trying to be sneaky. Yeah, you're walking around in a tin can.
Yeah, kind
Might
of
be.
shiny tin can. I'm gonna try and put my armor into something. I'm gonna try and find a bag.
Yeah,
I pull out my Damien's tools and I request a backpack, and I pull out a backpack and put my armor in it.
yeah.
and
Well,
I
I know
put it on
that's
my back.
your armor will just fit into that. That Finnery's adventuring backpack functions as a bag of holding.
Oh,
and so
okay.
you-
I see it just- Whoop.
You guys watch as Quinnington starts shoving just chunks of plate mail.
I also
into it
put
as-
my family bag of money thing in there, so I'm not holding anything that would be recognized as my family
Yeah.
at this point after seeing the reward posters.
as the last piece of your armor goes into the bag, a patch like an iron-on denim patch appears kind of on the side, and it is just a little rendition of your armor. As the money bag goes in, a little patch with the icon of that goes onto it. Anything that you put into it, like a personal item, will get a little patch that you can just pull off the patch and it will become the item.
Oh.
anything that you're just using the backpack as a way to get something you need, like a bedroll.
Why did I
That
say it was
that's
dangerous
magically
tools?
provided by the
Finnegan's.
Finnery's Adventuring Pack,
I put
or
Daniel's-
Finnery's Pack of the Maverick. It's not an actual magical item.
Okay. Okay. Got it. I feel naked now. I kind of feel light. I'm like doing a little bounce.
You've got like an extra 2 feet on your leap. You just have worn that armor so much that you're now 50 pounds lighter.
Feel great.
Yeah, you guys waiting for nightfall will have about 2 hours until it begins dark. The noises of the kind of the street outside shifts from just occasional passersby to a little bit more frequent, more people moving around as the nightlife kind of starts kicking up.
During this time, Sai's just gonna kind of sit off to the side a little bit, just waiting. And you might occasionally see him staring at the mask and just kind of looking at it one hand, passing it over to the other, and just kind of examining it and kind of contemplating whether he should put that on or not.
Is there anything else that anybody would like to specifically note that they're doing or kind of work through?
So find familiar. I ended up doing an owl. Basically all blacked out, with little blue feathers just on the end, much like his own wings.
Hops over and it turns its head just all the way around and examines each of you before hopping up and kind of fluttering and landing on your shoulder. Gil.
Well, I don't know. If I want, I can see through my friend's eyes here. I can at least scout around. Not that I don't think I'm going to see anything other than just rich, pompous fucks doing whatever they want. Sorry, no offense, Quinnington.
None taken.
I mean, if we can find some pattern to the gods' changes, what time of nights did they change, things like that could be helpful.
Locations where they might have information.
Or
That'd also
could
be
have
pretty handy.
Maybe guard
holding
posts.
cells.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, so here's the thing. I can only see so far, but I can talk telepathically. So, I mean, she could go out on her own and report back as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Seems like you could send her now if you wanted to.
Look out the window. How dark is it?
We'll say it is like just past like dusk. The sun has almost entirely set. You have a little bit of light. Stars are beginning to appear.
Let's give it just a little bit longer.
Sure.
But then you won't be
I'll say,
able to see.
Gil, as you look out, kind of looking at how dark it is, you realize this is the first time you've seen stars are visible directly above you. You know that there's another like large disk that forms that next part of the city. At some point, somebody enchanted the bottom to like mimic the night sky. Because, rich people can't have people above them. Even if there are.
Doman, at some point in this, or probably for a good chunk of this 2 hours, will take out the spear. And remembering what O'Relton told him about bending reality, he will try to do like a Matrix bend the spoon type thing with it. It's like planting it in the ground and like staring at the top of it and trying to get it to do
Okay.
something weird just by thinking about it.
Let me. You kind of just start getting a headache. There's a moment where you see it kind of bend, but it's so brief. You're not You're not sure if it actually did, or if you were just like staring at it so hard that it was just like a trick of the eye.
He's got to mean something different then, right? I'll just like wave it around and do some mumbo jumbo and try and figure it out, but obviously getting nowhere.
Do I see what he's doing? Can
Yeah,
okay.
he probably spends. I imagine you spend
Oh.
a few minutes just intently staring at this black, like onyx crystalline spear.
Yeah. 30 to 45 on and off, yeah.
I'm going to give it one more go. So that if you spent like a full 30 to 45 minutes just going for it, there's a moment, and all of you see this. You just focus and you kind of move it a little bit, and it warps on itself, like twisting and bent, and like you can, like looking through a glass of water, like the air around it like bends and flexes before it straightens back out in Arelton's hand, or in not Arelton, Doman's hands.
I did it! I did it! Just see it! I did it!
That was
What?
Did what?
It's like a fancy spear.
I really don't know, to tell you the truth.
I mean,
But-
it was really cool. What's the purpose?
Relton just said it would bend reality, and that seemed really reality bending to me.
I have a headache.
I don't know.
All right.
Yes.
Well,
You have a headache.
keep at it, I guess. I mean, hopefully it does more than that.
Got to start out somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do have a headache, so that's probably enough of that for now.
Okay. A little bit goes by. The sun fully sets. And as it kind of a few moments after it goes almost completely dark in the sky, except for the two moons and the stars, it almost gets brighter and brighter, but not daylight. This iridescent purple and red. There's strobing lights kind of just moving past the shaded windows. And you hear music start playing in the distance, people laughing, talking.
Is there a fair going on? Somebody throwing a ball? Were we invited?
You are
I
in.
don't think so.
I'm gonna
Good,
say
you might
not.
be familiar with this as well. You are in like the downtown area, the museum district, if
But
it
this
were.
is still too high for my family, so I don't know how much I've been up at this point. Because I was only like second or third level family.
Well, so there are 3 levels that are above the surface of
Okay, so I'm
the cross. So like the second level is where your family would live. This
Okay.
third level where you're on is you might have visited. Or no, you guys are on this. There is one tier above you. We
Yeah.
said. So this is the tier. This is the tier you would have lived on.
Oh, okay.
The people above, like above this, like might be people your father would answer to, like the elite of the city, the
So
person who sent you your kind letter, High Pontiff Valerius Dawnbreaker. He would live above here. Some of his closest advisors and aides.
So what would I recognize as going on here?
This is the nightlife of this part of the city. This is the people in kind of your generation. That's the younger sons and daughters of the aristocrats and nobles and wealthy merchants. This is where they come to party.
I'm not really dressed to party. I'm just in my like jerkin.
If only you had a magical pack that had whatever item you might need at the time.
Does that count like clothing?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's
it
the
is
biggest adventure.
any non-magical item that you need comes out and just eventually will disappear when
I
you're
like-
done using it.
I like open it up and go, can I have a green forest like tunic with gold stitching? and like one pops out.
Hits you in the
I-
face. Just
I thought you were gonna say with wooden toggles, and I was about to call you out.
So I look around and notice we have a lady, and kind of go around the corner and put on my green tunic with gold stitching and gold lace, and matching
Goggles.
pair of shoes. One wooden toggle on each shoulder. And I come back around the corner.
yeah.
To rejoin the party. Let's party!
Maybe we send the owl out first and just.
I'm gonna say,
Yeah. Hold on, and I'm gonna take the owl and check the window, make sure there's no one there. Open it slightly and
And then
let her out. And initially, what I'm going to do is have her stay within 100 feet and just fly around a little bit and get an eye of what's around us, and then move on from there.
before he lets her out the window, Dome will come up and put a hand on his shoulder and say, "Do you mind if I come with you?"
I'm not sure how you
assume
intend
you're-
to.
I assume you're going to look through her eyes, like you said earlier.
Yeah,
Do you mind if I come with?
sure.
And I'll like close my eyes, and he does like the black fire thing again, and I'll do was it gaze of two minds, and I'll
Mhm.
just put my senses into Gil, so whatever he sees, I see.
Interesting.
If we were
Okay.
gonna
That's cool.
do a cinematography thing, like all three perspectives begin to overlap until it's just your owls, and it begins to fly silently, just circling it with 100-foot radius. Go ahead and give me a perception check using her stats.
Wouldn't it be mine because I'm looking through her eyes? It's when
Use
she
whichever
goes
is
off-
higher. Use
Okay.
whichever one's higher.
Okay.
Can I make one
So-
too?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, mine's much higher.
'Cause
Because I
this
believe
is-
the owl is only has a +3. Yeah. Rolled an even 10 for 18.
18 and then 16 from Doman.
Yep.
Okay. And you see a few things. There are like a couple restaurants that are across the street nearby that are kind of picking up a couple lines going into the velvet roped like dance clubs. The like biggest fucker you've ever seen is a bouncer at one, and he's wearing what is just a suit that is clearly tailored to look a little too tight. He looks like he definitely has some stone giant blood. That's
Tiny.
ushering people in nearby. Every like you can pretty much circle your block, and at each corner there is a guard, a member of the Vigilant Watch, they stand out. They wear crimson cloaks with gold embroidery. With the 18 and 16, you both realize as the guards turn, and their faces, which are shadowed by these hoods, are plated metal, but not helmets. They look very reminiscent of Avarin. All of the guards of the Vigilant Watch here are automatons. The back of each of their cloaks is embroidered with a big gold symbol of crest. There are a couple patrolling members of the watch that are not automatons, but all of these that are standing at each corner. It's one stationed at every intersection. So do these automatons.
We'll have to be careful. It's not just mortals we're dealing with.
I'm going to be, this is one of the funny interactions that I'm realizing. Gil and Doman cannot actually hear each other currently because they're both in the owl. So as
But-
Gil says this, the rest of you can hear him.
I can't
then-
hear anything they say.
But
But-
you can't,
And then like 10
unless
seconds
you don't
after
want to hear through your owl's ears.
whatever Gil chooses is what I hear because I'm just in his
Yeah.
I'm in his senses. But like 10 seconds after Gil gets done saying that, Doman says, "We'll probably need to be careful at the intersections. They got automatons watching out."
Yeah, Gil just said that. Weird.
I can't hear you.
Nope.
I would say while they're out flying and viewing everything, Sai will probably go over and kind of sit next to Angel and just kind of pull out the clothing that Doman got him. Just say, I do appreciate these. And everything that you guys have done for me.
You're part of our family. It's not a choice.
I've gathered that. You definitely get what you guys want. So guess I'm just lucky to have you guys want me. It's nice to have that feeling. Listen, I know Lear has kind of expressed feelings towards me, and I know that I'm not gonna be around forever. And I don't want her to get hurt.
What do you mean you want to be around forever?
There's gonna be sacrifices that have to happen. And I mean, let's be honest, your blood, you have to stay together. So if something has to happen, I'm doing that.
Don't be too hasty to make that decision, though.
I can't have Doman try to sacrifice something, or you to sacrifice something. You have a family to take care of.
And you are part of that family now. Losing you would be just as painful.
I appreciate the sentiment about that, but
Oh man, cheer up, man! And I give him a big hug.
thanks.
I sit back down.
You're
I just-
quiet without your armor on.
Yeah, didn't even notice he was listening.
I just think she's gonna do bigger things.
Lil is amazing and she will do bigger things than any of us. But don't let those situations stop you from caring about the people that you care about. And don't put on them whether they're allowed to care about you or not. Pain is a part of life. We will feel those relationship pains when we need to.
But I'll just hug her thigh, I guess, because I'm about that time.
Yeah, she'll kneel down and,
Yeah.
and hug you. Big bear hug, pick you
Yeah.
up.
Crazy to think, since our first interaction, me thinking you needed the help.
Yeah, you are so wrong.
A few minutes of doing that circle with the owl, and do you see every guard at every intersection at the same moment just moves like one street over on a grid. And so just from the distance you see, and they all move just down the middle of the street, kind of just pushing people out of their way if they're in the way. A straight line, just in a synchronized patrol.
Oh boy, this isn't good, guys. They're all linked together. They move. Their timing. Oh, this is gonna be rough.
That's perfect. That makes them predictable. Not that you can hear, but
They seem to move all at the same time, though, so we might be able to
Jesus
use
Christ.
What's wrong with them?
I feel like they can't hear us. I don't know.
I walk
You
up and
thought-
I slap him. I slap our magic walker. Pop. Wake up,
that.
man!
One.
Which one?
They're both magic.
No, no,
They're both
The time traveler guy.
Gil.
Kill. You know.
You feel just whack on the back of your head,
Immediately drop connection.
pulls back.
You back with us, buddy? And I
What?
just shake him, grab him by his
What?
shoulders, like, you all right?
Jesus,
Aw.
yes. Ow.
You're
Oh,
you're-
yeah,
you're-
Doman would have felt that too.
you were in a daze, man. You were repeating what the party was, and I thought you were going insane.
I can't hear.
Oh.
That next time you should. I guess it doesn't matter next time because now we know. But that's information that would have been
Oh,
nice.
shit.
Could've
And I
done a
just
better
go
job
right
of
back into
explaining
Oh, and
I'll join
okay.
back in there.
But now I'm assuming you don't have audio from the owl. It's your own audio, but visual feed from
Oh man.
the owl.
I feel like Doman would have been hearing double right there because I was hearing it, he was hearing it. No, he wouldn't have been hearing double because
Yeah, no, he was
himself.
still
I would hear
just in
single
your
still, yeah.
in your perception.
Anyway. So I'm gonna go back, watch for just a little bit longer, try to get somewhat of a pathing down.
It's
And-
it's every 10 minutes, and it's a perfect line. They go and they're moving in a square. They go up one, over, back, over. And
Okay.
so every single one of these is just on a square on the grid.
So when they leave out of the grid, we have 30 minutes in that grid before they come back.
Yeah.
So I take that information for what I can, and then I go through and I give very detailed instructions on what to look for. So guard outposts, potentially where if there's any different rotations, if it's more than just a square.
You've only got 100
Um,
feet, so you had like maybe 2 or 3 of these
Right.
things that you were able to like clock on the regular.
Right. So try to get like patterns of if they're moving like more than just a square, if like I said, guard outposts and any variables and notable information that we would be interested in.
Okay.
And then
Give me another
I-
perception
Like-
check. Just I'm gonna see what if you get any extra information.
so this one would have to be with the owl's perception because I wouldn't be linked because it would be outside the 100 feet.
Okay. So give me that that perception.
Well, it's not good. It's a 5.
5.
Hmm.
I'm gonna David. High or low?
Low?
Okay. Your owl doesn't come back.
Thought so.
Oh,
I thought so.
There's a mouse. It's quite hungry.
She was found.
You feel the
I would
connection.
know,
You
yeah.
feel it sever.
Fuck.
You all right?
She's gone.
David, roll a
Oh.
d100 for me.
If I can
Owl.
find my fucking D100s.
You just roll a d10 for me. I just need the tens spot.
I got a. What the fuck is that? A 90 flat or a 99? No, 90 flat.
Okay. You feel it sever after a while, like on the outer edge of the peripheral. So your familiar did not get caught so close as to arouse suspicion in your immediate area.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna need another hour, and I'm gonna bring her back
Oh, well,
after
let's
spending a fuck ton on incense.
it's like
We
10 gold of incense.
Yeah, charcoal and incense and herbs.
Domin, what do you think about when he gets his familiar back and is sending the owl out? If you were to send a vision of you to pop in front of one of the guards to see what they would do.
I mean, I can do that, but then we kind of lose the element of surprise.
Yeah, that would be
I need to get away.
as he's like putting stuff into a brazier. Yeah, that probably wouldn't be the greatest idea because that would at least alert them that someone or something is trying to cause problems.
I just want to see what they do if one of them runs into a problem. Do they all come to help? Do they stop where they are? Do the rest of them continue on their loop?
Well,
And the other ones catch up when they've dealt with the problem?
I can probably tell you with their movement, they'll all show up. As many that can.
That's perfect then, because we just need to have a distraction, and then the rest of us
Yeah.
can go on our way. We just need to get them alerted, and then while they're running towards the distraction, we'll just meander on our way.
I mean, at least it's an option if it comes down to it. If we're
it
in a
would be
tight
an-
spot.
It would be an option, but then everything would be alerted at that point, and it would make it much harder to move around. I
would
mean,
say
it's a good ditch effort if we're in a really bad spot.
Do we have do we know if they're looking for like our faces, or are they just are they looking for problems?
Undoubtedly, they're looking
we-
for us.
Can
Sir
we-
Quinnington? And I take him to the window and I go, "You see that billboard with your face on it?"
Sir Quinton Quinnington.
I asked him,
just
is this
with a
a
500,000
masquerade?
gold bounty.
Is this a masquerade night party?
There are a couple people that are walking by like in masks, but it's not like there's any one ball. There's just a bunch of different. It's like
Do I-
going to
I asked him to,
downtown
like,
Seattle.
Describe the
Taylor
if
Swift
there
weekend.
if there's a trend, like is there a family that specifically has masks on, or is it just
Just kind of random. It's like down, not Seattle, like going to Las Vegas, like walking down the strip.
yeah?
There's just a ton of different people kind of going about their business. The only constant is that they're all wealthy.
What's
But there are for the most part also younger. There's a couple older people that are out and about, but for the most part, these all seem to be in their, mid-20s, early 30s.
Are they wearing like
like-
a lot of their house's garb?
Oh
on
no,
them?
that wouldn't be fashionable at all. These are
Okay.
they're wearing like very just
Trendy.
like high fashion kind of stuff. Like
So that I pull out my my back of tools and say, "You guys wanna dress up?"
I thought we already went out and bought clothes.
you all have Yoshida and Gil had gone out and picked up just general outfits.
So that
You
I
had to change because you decided against carrying your armor around as well.
So
But
I pull out a mask for myself, and then I put a mask on.
just a very tasteful, like covers the upper cheekbones.
Yeah, kind of fan of the opera kind of style, so it's
Yeah.
asymmetrical,
Yeah.
but it covers
Slap
both
that
eyes. Say, anybody up to party?
I've already got one, and I'll just wave my mask.
And the mask he holds up, Quentin, in case you weren't here for it, is like a leather plague mask, like with that big kind of beak on the front.
I'm not
It
super
could
familiar
it
with the
could be
styles,
hot.
but that's it's a statement. I don't know if we want to make that statement.
That's the only reason I'm here. Is to make that statement.
Right. So I did. You're the distraction.
You hear a muffled just thump kind of at the back towards the storage room.
Yes.
One moment.
Okay.
Oh.
And I go back there and thump him upside the head.
You open the door to the elevator and he's still like tied up at the hands, but he's kind of gotten mostly free. Open the door. He just goes wide-eyed and just you punch him between the eyes. He just tips over backwards.
Close the door.
How much damage do you deal with an unarmed strike?
6 bludgeoning damage. I'm not.
Okay. You punch him in the forehead. You hear kind of a sharper crack than you would normally expect. And his eyes kind of glaze over and he tips back. You do not know if he's alive or dead.
Can I check? I like stick my like finger on his neck.
Hey, high or low, Quinn?
You choke him out. He's still breathing. Like I put his finger on his neck.
1 or low.
You go
Fucking
low?
crush his trachea.
He's dead. I went with a 50-50 chance and I was just rolled D100. I wanted to know whether you were aiming for a high roll or low roll. I rolled a 55%. So I went high. It was
he's
just
not gonna
trauma.
bother us for the rest of the night. And I
Oh,
shut the
good.
door.
And I was like, you're the only person that really knows this because you opened it, punched it, checked, and just shutting the door.
He won't be
You all just
bothering
hear a
us.
thump, thump.
While Quinnington's taking care of that, I'll saddle up to Anj and talk to her. You think I should stay here and see if I can't get in contact with the kids, or do you want me with you?
What do you mean? Get in contact with him.
Well, I don't remember. Have we tried this? And I'll pull out the sending stone.
We did
Have we
try
given
the
this a shot?
sending stone.
And I'll just give it a try again real quick to see if there's anybody on the other end. Anybody there? Hello?
Oh, finally, you reached out. I assume this is Domin Ek?
Who's this?
You know who this is. I assume you got my letter as well. And the other message I sent.
We got him.
Am I also right to assume that you and your band of heretics are on your way to turn yourself in?
Feel free to assume that. If it helps you out, yeah.
It's more in the vein of what would help you out. The true downside of these archaic fabrications is that you cannot hear anything but what I say. Oh, the cacophony that surrounds me now echoes in these hallowed halls.
Nothing like the cacophony that you're going to hear when we find you. If we were to turn ourselves in, where would we be going?
I assume the guards at the gate would have a warm enough welcome for you. Or if you are somehow already in the city, any one of the guards at the Vigilant Watch know your faces, know your names, know where to take you.
We'll find you then, eh?
I look forward to it.
I'll stow it.
Anything you... it just hangs up. as you-
Well, that's not going to be the way, unfortunately.
I do want just... Give me an intelligence check, Domin, because I'll
I'm
I'll point it out.
screaming on the inside right now.
directly to you, because I can sometimes bury these and
Decidedly average.
decide the average. Yeah, whatever you take from that.
Okay.
I think David knows exactly what I fucking am referring to.
Yep. I
So
know
that's
where they
probably
are.
even
Gil doesn't.
lower. Yeah, considering fatherly rage, that's probably a much lower intelligence check, actually.
Now, I imagine
Um,
it's like the Taken thing. Like, give me
Hyper
one more. Give it to
intelligence.
me at advantage. This is the like you're listening to breathing and accents and vocal patterns. So,
Well,
yeah,
then.
just not quite there.
Does
Women's
he
never been particularly
sound
bright.
familiar?
No?
Oh, I actually don't think so.
No? Oh,
No,
okay.
if I have overlapped an accent, that's just me being me.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I was totally thinking it was the Inquisitor that we ran into with Balin Halfhand and while we were trying to get Lear out.
I was pretty sure
Or
this
was
was
that
Blackwood.
Mav? Was that Mav?
No, that was the bandit dude that we were trying to get out.
Oh, was it the? Yeah, it was that guy. That's right. You're
Can't
right.
remember his name.
This was specifically, I'll give it to you, the same guy that sent you a letter. This was a High Pontiff Valerius Dawnbreaker.
Okay.
He is the head honcho of the church. You know what? Even with the 12, it wasn't. The hint was the cacophony that echoes through these hallowed halls.
So they are above.
Did they repeat that out loud? No. Okay. I know nothing.
That is just for Doman at the moment.
And you said a 12 was good enough?
Yeah, no, that's
That's I mean, he obviously he's got Lair. He left us the letter. That's got to be High Pontiff Shitstain.
High Pontiff Shitstain. That's a good name. I like it. He's
The only other
probably
thing
a-
I can think of is I got a hold of Mav that one time on accident. Do you think I could do it again?
You're muted, Rachel.
You're muted.
God damn it. Sorry.
Don't use that button.
I'm eating foods and I don't want you to hear my.
that's
Anyways.
just called ASMR.
That's your race,
What?
right?
You're our badass ASMR. That's good,
Nice.
Mike.
Anyways, could you hear where they may have been? Any background? Anything?
Well, the only thing he said was something about cacophonies and hallowed halls, and I mean, he's a religious official. They're in the church, right?
I'm not the
Mm.
smartest person, but which church is this shit stain ahead of?
There's one church.
The one.
Well, like
the church.
One church.
There's one church location.
There's just
That this guy would be in, most likely.
It sounds like that's as good a place to start as any.
Just got to get there.
Do I know any like shortcuts since this is like kind of my stomping ground of how to get there?
So you would know how to get to the central spire where there is like a large kind of elevator type, much fancier than an elevator. It's hard to describe. Like it isn't like a airship platform. It just
Anti-gravity
floats.
lift.
Yeah, there's an anti-gravity lift. There we go. That takes you up. You have gone up one time, and it was during your family was invited as like members of
Would I
the
know
aristocracy.
if there's like a requirement to use the lift? Like, is there like a payment, or you have to have a special token, or
You
is it-
have to. This is like invite only because what your family was going to is the actual like, not coronation. What is it when a pope is given his big hat?
his like ratification ceremony or whatever?
Yeah, like like the high pontiff's actual like ascension ceremony to his seat. People are invited to the top tier of Avarice very rarely.
It is a
Could you-
palpable coronation, just in case you were wondering.
Okay, that's where he's given the big hat.
Yeah, apparently.
Could you pull an invite out of your bag?
I open my bag and ask for an invite. Does anything happen?
I don't know if that's a common item.
It's not a non-magical item.
So
That's
there
true.
is kind of a delay, and like a slip of paper pokes out of the top, and there's resistance. Like when you pull on it, it kind of like it's like the bag is unsure of handing it to you, and you have to pull it out of the pull it from it, and it says 1 free pass to ride the lift, and then there's like a little question mark.
And I just had to
Just
just like fully confident this is exactly what he's asked for.
But the question mark is like been erased, like it has the eraser smudge, but you can still kind of see it's there.
Perfect.
We just asked Chat GPT for a lift ticket, is what we did. Is this it? Sure.
It's close.
Something tells me that that's probably not going to do it for us, but we'll keep it as a backup plan, eh?
And I mean, I'm assuming that the guards are guarding the lift and know our faces, and I mean,
What
we're
if we could
invited.
disguise ourselves.
We were invited. We're going to get technical with it.
But we weren't given a ticket.
No, you got that
I
covered
will.
for us.
I will say,
Yeah.
Gil, you got a way to get everybody up.
Oh no.
I just don't want to go.
Oh no, it's like it's a back pocket thing.
Ah.
It's from the book that he got.
Yeah. That's. Yeah. It's
No, it's a lot to spend on that.
that.
What if we did like 2 groups so we don't all just like get caught if one person at one time? Like then at least half of us can maybe get through in the distraction.
The thing is if we get caught, we're going to get through. We're just going to get through with less agency
Is
at the end of it.
Has my bird come back yet? Have I finished?
Yeah, you finish your ritual and you have.
Immediately gonna. What'd you see?
It starts sending like snippets, and they're kind of distorted. This is like overexposed photographs are being like flashed into your mind as it's recovering whatever it can before it. And it was doing kind of loops. You get pictures every couple blocks so they don't directly overlap. You can kind of see like GIFs of the guards on their rotation. And then after every 4th rotation, they go the opposite direction.
Mm,
You get kind of snips of that. And then finally, what you see is this staticky, blurry, and like moving image where they went up and then just nothing. Like they kind of started going up, and once they hit
Was
about
it-
100 feet above where you're at, it just nothing. That's where it cut off.
okay, so my question is what did it appear like? All of them? Was it one group? And that's basically what I got.
Yeah, it seemed like it was consistent. Like everywhere that this owl flew, all of those the automatic guards, automaton guards, they're all moving pretty like synchronized.
Okay.
There are 3 different like actual guard posts that you saw, and these are kind of like constable stations where they're just kind of keeping an eye on people. They're people going up and out, like you got a bit where there was a group of kind of young, a couple different races that were together that were kind of like harassing a group of girls, and they moved over, and the constables, like these guards, broke it up and dispersed them through the crowd, kind of thing.
So while that's happening, he's going to rip out a piece of parchment paper, and he's going to start drawing everything that he can to keep a fresh grasp on it.
Okay.
When I realize that what he's doing and he's drawing, I draw like where like the best path to the lift. That I would think.
That's between the two of you going through, and it's his like photos that he's referencing, and you kind of helping him piece to like where they were, because he doesn't have the complete image. And so as Gil, you sketch some like out a section of the city and some of the movements you were seeing. Quinnington is able to help you go, that's this part of the city, like I recognize that landmark, and organizes what would be the most direct path to the lift itself.
Well, if we want to do something, we should probably do it soon. It's getting close to midnight, and all the partygoers are going to start heading back to their houses soon.
One more second. And he's going to ritually cast telepathic bond.
Okay. Just making sure I know. Are you including Angela and Doman in this?
Yes.
Okay.
A link up to 8 willing creatures. So.
Okay. It was less a matter of how many people can you, but would Gil be willing to? Okay. Or was Gil not there for that?
Was Gil not there for?
No, he was. He was.
Oh, he was. Okay.
Oh, the whole. Yeah. No. Yeah.
The
I
literal
was for
mindfuck.
the first one. I was there for the first one, not the second one.
Okay.
As Doman feels the link pop in again, he does the mental equivalent of looking straight forward. And just like trying to harness his thoughts real quick.
As soon as Gil sees that, you just in your mind, don't you fucking do it.
Don't tempt me, I'm trying to concentrate.
Angel, however.
All you see you get from me is how I feel light, so I'm just kind of still bouncing around.
I will say you guys do capture in the very, very beginning of it, Sai going, did that really happen? And that's it. And then he
There's a
realizes
lot
it and
of-
snaps forward and just like, focus.
Don't think about it. Don't
Yeah.
think about it. Don't think about it.
There's just a lot of rage coming off of Angel.
Yeah.
Simmering rage.
Doman, you gave a very deliberate look there on camera. I just want to know, was that Doman like pointedly looking over at Sai?
It was
Or was
not.
that-
No.
Okay.
Nope.
I wasn't sure if that was a you thing or a Doman thing.
That was a me thing, not Doman, sorry. I'll stay in character.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
It just seemed like an acting moment, and I wanted to make sure I properly accounted for it.
Well, we've got a general layout. So really the only thing we can stay out of the automaton's route so long as it doesn't change. That's the only thing I'm worried about. And obviously human variants. The automatons are going to be pretty easy to avoid for the most part.
We just got to catch them on a transition on both sides of our path through the city, or to the lift.
Could we keep your
And-
owl out looking so that we can see if anything changes, and we'll just guide you like you're a blind man?
And you can try. It's going to be pretty rough, but I'm not going to be able to be very sneaky doing that.
Maybe we can get certain distances and then find a spot to hunker down.
Stop and check. We definitely can. The other side of it too is that we can telepathically communicate. It's just not as great as being able to see myself, if that
Yes.
But
What if? Okay, so we have an idea of about how long every 4 rounds is. So maybe we hide and we check with the owl about every 4 rounds, so that if he changes, it's going to change at that moment, and then we would see if they're switching to some different pattern.
I mean, we can try.
We
I
don't.
think that's
How often? How long would it? Or how often do they switch?
Well, it depends because we're going to be moving, but each block movement they take is 10 minutes in each block.
Mm.
so
And
we
so
would
a
have
full
like
a full rotation on each square of the grid would be 30 to 40 minutes.
But every fourth rotation, they go in reverse.
Hmm.
so we would have. I mean, that gives us 2 hours to move before they start to switch directions, and then we would just need to make sure that we were hidden somewhere.
Well, so they say they start in this square, they go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they go back this way. Sure, if we were in this one, technically we would have time, but it
I still think we'd be better off just
that's
going
one
to two
block.
parties and wearing a disguise and like we have people. There's people coming and going every minute. Like I think
We
we're
don't
in a good
necessarily
position.
need to avoid them at all times, is what you're saying, right? We just need
Right.
to make sure
I don't think
hoods
we
are
should.
up whenever they walk by us.
Yeah, I don't think we should.
Yeah.
We should
Sure.
walk in front of them, but like let's just keep as much between us, but just
Look
act
like
normal.
we're party goers.
Yeah.
Need
Like I
need
mean,
not
Act-
draw attention.
there's
Act a
there's
little inebriated.
there's 100 people going that have passed us while we've sit here and waited and they it's
That's a good point. We can
and I
do
think
that.
we just go as two groups. That way, if one group has to retreat and hide, then we're all
Well,
caught. Plus, we're not. They're looking for a group of us, right? So
Yeah. So
if we look like normal, a couple couples, it's much easier. Or a group of guys and a couple, like it's much easier.
I agree, as long as you're saying by splitting up, you mean maybe at a distance of 100 feet or so. If we're taking entirely different routes, and
Yeah,
I think
no,
I think that's a bad idea.
Yeah, I think that you just stagger us entering the party, so we don't go as 5 people or 6 people, and they're looking for 6 people. It makes no sense.
Do
the
I
next
know-
question is, go ahead.
No, you're good. Go for it.
The next question is what do we do when we get there? How do we get up the lift?
We need the information first. How does it operate? What are they looking for? Does this ticket work?
Well, I don't
Can
know
we
if
just muscle our way up?
I asked for a ticket, and this is the ticket, and then you need a ticket, and then you can go up the lift. At least that's what happened when I got to see Shitface's coronation.
Question: would I know if there are any Harengon families that are of this esteem?
Maybe. Give me. I feel like history is the closest thing.
Well,
Maybe even
that's
just
a
in
natural
general
one,
and-
so no.
What was that?
That is a natural
Maybe.
one, so no.
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately, no.
I mean,
You
you guys
could
can all
ask-
blend in well, but I mean, I've got these, and I'll just gesture to my ears.
I mean, I can help.
On this, I'm going to let Sir Quinnington also give me a history check. Because he would also be familiar with the families.
I also got a natural one.
Oh fuck!
Oh, yeah.
Not meant to be.
I don't know, man. I kind of slept through that. The like tutor was kind of hot. I don't really know.
Yeah. But Quinnington, there's definitely a Harengon family. Like,
Okay.
they're pretty well esteemed. That's
What's her name? Oh, what's that? Tip of my tongue. I don't. I mean, yes, there is, but I don't know. I don't know the name of it.
they would be the Sunweaver family. It was a family of Harengons that you don't know a whole lot of information about. They were like around your dad when you were a kid, but like they
All
didn't
that off a
have
natural
kids for you to. Yeah, that's you didn't have like
Cool.
they didn't have kids, and so there was no friend to play with. You weren't really interested, but they were, as far as you recall, a very high-ranking family, and part of the church.
So I grab my my bag and I ask it for a crest of that family, and I show it to him.
Spits out. There's just like a ring or like a
Just like a little drawing. I'm just looking for like a paper drawing
Oh
of what
yeah,
the crest
you
looks like.
get a sketch of the Sunweaver family.
Just like this, and then I just show it to
and
him.
It is like a sun, and it has like a horizon marking with a river leading to it, and the whole thing is kind of the back of the pattern is a sword, and it's kind of sketched out in charcoal for you. But yeah, the Sunweavers, and yeah, well, that comes from a 1.
All right.
Dope. Imagine what a 2 would have got you.
I know, right? Technically, I got a 4, and I don't think you can roll a natural 1 on a.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I
Ah.
kind of like it. It's the worst you can possibly do,
Yes.
and so
What is the least amount of information I could have gleaned from that
yeah,
question?
that's But the Sunweavers, yeah, you're. As soon as he's like, "Oh yeah, my ears," you're like, "Yeah, no, the Sunweavers, they were part of the church when I was a kid, for sure."
I so desperately want to roll an insight, but he wouldn't. It's not going to give me anything. So
Because he believes it.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean,
And I
if you did
rolled a 1
insight-
before, so
I was gonna say, based on your passive insight, just knowing it, he's confident. Like this is information that was just quick at hand. It was ready. Hardly had to think about it.
You could put a hood up and hide your ears. Put on a hat. Although I'd recommend the hood because even with your face, people are going to assume.
yeah.
If you get asked, just say you're part of the Sun Eaters family.
Sun Weaver, right?
Weavers.
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 I felt that like that was perfectly in tune. So.
Yeah. So that's a game plan, is it not?
I
Let's
guess
give it a
so.
shot.
And I'll hoist up my cloak as well.
I send the bird out and just up as high as possible.
Okay, how high do you send it?
I mean, not to get fucked up by the underside of the other thing. But
So like 90 feet. That was
yeah,
my.
yeah,
Are you
yeah.
going as high as like you can send it, or?
No.
Yeah, so we'll say it's about 70, like hanging out in that 75-foot area. Just
High enough up that it would be pretty hard to see a black bird against a semi-black.
yeah,
background.
mostly black background. I mean, it looks like the night sky.
And
That's
owls to fly like almost silent, so it'd be very difficult.
terrifying animals.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
give that a shot, and we'll head out.
Okay, I will need a group stealth check. Have a DC in mind, knowing that you're all disguised. You're all kind of spread out, so you're not looking like a clump of the exact number of people that they're trying to catch.
I got a
Not bad.
16.
And you're not wearing armor, so you don't have disadvantage.
Woo. God. I also got a 16.
You got a 19.
Rachel.
You're muted.
I got a 5.
5.
Yep,
Okay,
I got
Rex.
a 5.
I got a 31.
Ooh.
Two extremes there.
Is make your way a significant ways through the city, kind of just moving through the crowds. You don't attract any attention from any of the guards.
So Gil is trying to keep time in his head, and then every time it gets close to shift change, he just to everybody shift change,
Gosh,
Shift
Change
change.
places.
shift change.
as you're keeping just track of this, about halfway through, that's you hear just hushed voices like that kind of cut through to you guys down an alley. You've been through a lot, and so you're kind of in tune with when things are out of place. And you look down, and there's a just got very bouncy music, and
I was
I
literally
got you.
about to
I got
tell
you.
yeah.
I was like, I'm like, what I'm about to go into is not bouncy music stuff. Yeah, it's closer.
I don't know if this is bouncy or not.
Most of the purpley, is it the purple? No, it's most of like the smooth, the Starfire Crusade track. That's all more like sci-fi bouncier. Okay, but you kind of catch this, and you hear off to the side just these hushed voices, urgent tones, and you look down, and there are two larger figures. One of them's human, and one appears to be a half-orc. They're kind of well dressed, but they're kind of looming over this young half-elven woman who's holding a bag kind of to her chest. One of it, like the human, is like leaning against the wall, like put right over her shoulder and like leaning in close. And the half-orc is kind of like a quarter of the way turned, but is also just kind of keeping an eye on the street. And they're just far enough back that the lights from the street don't catch them. But nobody's noticed you, and you guys can continue on. Hi, Penny.
I was like, what? And then I
What's the
looked
sniffing?
Oh,
I was like,
this is cute. I didn't know you could
That was
hear
cute.
her.
No, that was really cute, actually.
What's the can I roll a perception check to see if I recognize anything specific about him?
Yeah, give me a perception check.
I got a 13.
So, like, you don't know any of these people. None of them come to you. The half-orc that's kind of half turned and watching the street, he has his hand like under his coat partially, and you realize that the human, his hand isn't just on the stone wall. He's like pinning her hair to the wall, like holding her, keeping her there, and he's talking to her, and he has kind of a smile on his face.
I just like nudge the rest of the guys. Why don't you keep walking for a second?
Does Angel notice any of this?
so we're split. So who would
Yeah.
have been the people that saw it? I guess is probably the better question.
I probably would have been over there too, I would say. With
Yeah,
Lord
we'll
Cunnington.
say Cy and Cunnington are the two that, like, we'll say you two dialed it in. That
Okay.
group, just because you.
Then I guess
I would
Gil
say-
will hold up against a wall and tell the others that what's going on, and then I'm gonna go take a quick look through the owl's eyes.
Okay.
And I assume Doman and Ange were walking together, so after we hear it mentally, we'll turn around and clock from a distance to see if
Yeah,
they
take
need any
that.
help.
The owl will land, but what's Cy doing?
I was gonna say, if Lord Quennington said to keep walking, I'm gonna just walk a little bit further from where he's at and try to get on the back side of the buildings
Okay.
and kind of sneak around, I guess you could say.
To the other
Okay.
side.
And your owl lands just kind of above on one of the, like, there's all sorts of like vents and piping and stuff, and it's like a city alleyway. Owl lands, and you're listening. There's really no need to be difficult. Come on. We went out with all of our friends. You like me, I like you. And it just kind of fades off from the
After-
quiet voice, but you get the gist of it.
After I see
David.
Gil and Sai keep moving, I take out my rapier and then throw it down the alley, but not at one of them, just at the like stones, kind of the feet, to make a lot of noise as this just weapon just flies towards them. And then I'm gonna announce loudly, "That's not very good," and then proceed to just start walking down past them, past
Like through the
yeah.
alleyway. It clatters and
I'm not
kinda
walking
make
in
this-
through down the alleyway. I'm walking back the way that I saw Gil and Sai were walking.
Oh, okay.
When I
And
talk- I'm not trying to engage them, but I'm trying
Just
to give it
draw
enough
attention.
of enough to that like it's no longer quiet, and to hopefully that either she gets away or they
notice they're
they
not
get a
alone.
little too nervous to keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah, all three of them kind of start, but the human, he like not a headlock, but puts his arm, and Gil from the owl, you hear, let's go someplace more private. Is I'd like to get to know you better, and just kind of turns and starts walking down the alley towards where I think Sai says he's kind of worked around.
Yeah, if I could, I was gonna try to work up onto the roof of one of the
Easy
buildings
enough. You can do dope monk shit.
and just kind of watch from above and see
With a
what they're doing.
31 stealth,
Yeah.
nobody saw you. Just
So after hearing that, Sai's going to come back to himself and have the
Gil.
owl.
Gil.
Gil.
Sai-
Gil. Sai is
You don't get to
long
play
gone.
other people's characters.
Sai
Yeah,
is- yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna come back to myself and have the owl do its rotation again,
Mhm.
and just mentally, nope, that one didn't work. And he is going to get within range and do a. Can I do? I'm gonna take a look around, see how many people are around. If there's a lot around, I'm gonna subtly cast Mind Sliver.
There are
Give that dude a fucking headache.
there are quite a few, and with the current like the announcement by Lord Gwennington and the clatter of the rapier, which has now begun to fade away, they're all kind of looking in this direction.
Okay.
So if you're gonna subtle spell it, I'm gonna need a stealth check or a sleight of hand. Because I know you don't have like you're subtle spelling it, so it's not verbal, not somatic, but just the effect still
While
takes
this is
focus.
while this is all happening, I'm going to be trying to go flank the building. So I'm going to be trying to go around the building the way I saw Sai go.
And
Not bad.
Doman will give Ange a gentle pat on the tuchus and say, "I'm sure you want to be in there, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm right behind you."
That's
We're all
good to be there.
communicating over telepathic, so
Yeah,
everybody should
and
know.
sync up pretty easily.
So that is a 15.
Okay, that is nobody's gonna notice. Mind Sliver, is that a saving throw or anything?
Intellect saving throw.
Okay, is a 4 high enough? To,
No. And so, is there a way to make this like non-lethal? Like, I don't want to kill him, but I want him to have a fucking migraine and then some.
how much damage does it do?
It just 3d6 fucking damage.
Roll your damage first.
If it's above it.
Wow.
360.
No, fucking awful. Which is
Oh.
good. A 1, and a 3, so 5.
Bye. Sai, you from above watch as the guy who has his arm around this girl, like, kind of stumbles, is like, and just throws up on the ground.
Oh, I thought you said you were going to say he throws up on her while he's just.
No, like, and that's he lets go of her and just throws up, and she immediately just books it.
And then I'm gonna just for one round, not that it really matters, but I'm gonna give him disadvantage on, or it's a negative to his dex, I think. Or
Yeah, it's minus
disadvantage
a
on-
1d4 to dex.
Yes, something like
Yeah,
that.
he took, it was, I think, 5 points of damage,
Mhm.
right? He only has 10 points. This is a normal dude. But just half of his health just gone. He throws it, and the Sai, you're the half orc who's with him, is like, what the fuck? You throwing up blood? Let's get you home. And he, like,
Okay, so they
picks
don't
him
pursue
up.
her.
They don't. No.
Okay.
That's a.
Okay, I was gonna say if they pursue, I'm leaping down. But
yeah. Yeah, they turn around and kind of start making their way. He is gray in the face. He took a big hit. And moves through.
and I'll just kind of make sure that I see her get away and like around a corner somewhere. And as soon as I hear or see she's gone and they're going a different direction, I'll just say to everybody telepathically, like, all right, it's resolved.
You guys did something good and managed to do so without drawing the attention of the guards. You continue on. I need another group stealth check for the second half of this.
20.
That was so
Same roll,
close to a
16.
natural one.
I did good. I did real
Two.
good.
It's okay,
22.
Rachel. I got you. 32.
Thank you.
There's a 20 from Quinnington. What did we get from Gil?
22.
And from Doman?
16.
16. That is more than enough. That's still keeping track of kind of the path that these guards take, staying away from the guard post, following the path that Gil and Quinnington laid out previously. You make it so you're at the edge of a large courtyard plaza. It's like a park, a big open park, but it leads up to the steps that you watch as somebody walks into this space, and they look, and the two guards that are outside this, these are both not automaton guards, they're living beings. Both like bow to the individual who steps into this large circle, turns, an elven man crosses his arms behind his back and waits for a moment, and the platform, the outer ring, begins to glow and rockets like super fast, like an express elevator, just up, leaving these glowing blue after images from the circle. As he
Are the guards
ascends
on
the-
top of it, so they went up?
No,
with
the
it?
guards were next to it on either side of it. That's
Kind of like a pinball table when you release the spring. Boop.
yeah, just
Pinball.
Nope.
and you watch it does not come back down. Another platform like rises into this where it had come from, popping into place.
It needs to go down.
Why does it need to go down?
I said, who needs to go down?
Oh, yeah. Not us.
The angelic music kicking in.
Sorry.
Yes, Angelina.
All right.
I'm
Well,
just gonna do this. There we go.
we know the path.
Want to see if that ticket works?
I mean,
Maybe
Gil
we
is
try
is-
some other things first.
Gil is. Can Yosta hear us?
No.
Shit. I don't know if we should go up without her. She's out looking for a spot for us. She doesn't know we're here.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I don't know if we could get up.
This is reconnaissance. We don't have to go up right now. We've got time.
Do we?
But we've risked it to get this far.
Can I look around and just see if I can see like a stumbling drunk somewhere
Yeah,
nearby
give
that's
me-
by themselves?
I'm not gonna need a perception check. Give me a D20. Just even roll.
19.
19. Yeah, there's a couple. There's three different staggering figures. There's one who's kind of an older noble. He's wearing like an outdated suit and a cane, who is currently like leaning against a tree, throwing up into a top hat. There is a human figure who's kind of like stumbling along, being supported by a half orc, kind of moving up the street. They seem pretty familiar. And then two, there's a tiefling woman and an elven woman that are together, and they're kind of laughing and talking. One of them's holding her shoes, and they're just kind of singing loudly some popular song of the time, but they're staggering and clearly very drunk.
I'll walk up to that couple. Actually, first I'll just look to hey, can I see that ticket?
Yep. Here you go.
I'm gonna see if we can convince somebody to try. And I'm gonna walk up to that couple and just, how's it going?
The two girls?
Yeah,
Sure.
the last two that were having a good time and laughing
Yeah.
and partying.
Oh, we're doing good. We saw the best band play. There was a group of dwarves, and they call it metal, which I don't get because it's music, and
Yeah, that's
you're
really
fuzzy."
weird, isn't it?
And she like one of them just puts her hand on your face, ruffling your ears. His fur's so soft. I want to touch it. The other one just like grabs your ear.
Yeah. Well, the night's still pretty young, right?
Yeah, we are going to this other party, just like right down the street. You should
Actually,
come, bunny.
I actually heard of a better party up top.
Oh, funny. Nobody goes up top. That's
Oh, I
no-
do, and I'll kind of wiggle the ticket.
Oh. And what? You have an invitation to Exos?
Yeah, I've got a couple. You want to go?
I mean, is this like a cool party?
I mean, it's got all the high quality. The liquor down here was shit.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. Which is not my high suit.
Does the Exos ticket like did an Exos invite go over the telepathic? Do I now know what kind of ticket I'm asking for?
What were you broadcasting that telepathically as well, so like the group could know what you were saying, or? Sai?
Oh, like what I'm saying to these guys?
Yeah, are you kind of cueing everybody else in?
Yeah, sure, I can. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I like while he's still bullshitting with the chick, I ask for a Exos invite specifically from the bag.
It's the same thing. It just prints the same fucking thing. Okay.
A very similar thing happens. Like you have to pull it, and it says one ticket to Exos. And then
rocket
like
ship on
there's
it?
there's like a second note that's like clipped to it, and it says, "I don't know what you want, man. This is really specific."
You just get static from me. Like
I just imagine that this bag has the personality of dude.
I will fail miserably because I rolled a 3 in my persuasion.
Okay. Are you sure?
I
'Cause
will.
with disadvantage, I rolled 2 2s on their
Okay.
insight.
Alright.
And I will do nothing.
So that's cool. We'll take 2 tickets, Soft Bunny Man.
I mean, you don't need 2. You just need the 1. I just have more for my friends that I was gonna go get right after this. So, just figured you look
Mr.
like.
Fancy. That's who's been up to Exos. Where's this party at?
Oh, trust me, you'll know when you get up there.
The other one is like leaning over, like leaning on her friend, putting her shoes back on. Okay. All right. 1 ticket, please.
And I'll hand it to him. I'll just be like, all right, right there.
Okay. And they begin walking off towards the guards. They kind of stagger up, and one of the guards steps forward and like holds up a hand, and they hand him the ticket and turn and point at you,
I would have been gone by now.
and kind of confused, and they just kind of gesture, and if any of you guys are visible, let like Sai had pointed like my friends. It's just kind of a loose gesture, and he has the ticket, and the guard takes it, and he gestures a little like you guys need to leave. To it, one of the, is like slaps him. The other guard lowers the spear he's holding, and a beam of energy fires off, punching a hole through the chest of the one that slapped the guard. She collapses. There's a little bit of smoke, and the other girl like puts her hands up and just starts running away. And the first guard lowers his spear and punches a hole through her.
Sai kind of sneaks back around to the rest of the party and sees it all happen and goes,
Yeah, those both had that happened.
he's just gonna go
I
like,
put the ticket back in the pack.
I don't need this anymore. You just shred that, okay? You just shred that. We don't need it anymore.
I'll just
Bad ticket.
come behind the party and be like, well, I guess that's our answer. Ticket's not gonna work, and he's not gonna have any remorse for anything that's happened.
Hey,
Oh,
you can think of something else.
30, 40 seconds go by and a large, like, square-shaped thing kind of, like, rolls out towards the body. The front opens up and two, like, arms come out, grab it, pull it into the box. And it walks up and does the same thing to the next one and cruises off around the corner.
okay.
Anybody got an idea? No, I don't like my idea anymore.
I mean, it's coming to the end of the night, right? Everybody's starting to go home. Maybe we get back to the museum and wait for Yoshida.
Well, the
Seems
problem
sense.
is if we go back to the museum, here's the issue, right? We go back to the museum. That guy that's still tied up there. You know, there's got to be a shift change at some point. I mean, it could have already happened.
Let's go to the Emporium.
Real?
That's where Yoshida said she was going.
The Empyrean Euphoria.
Imperium Euphoria. That's
That's
very
close
hard for
enough
me
to
to
an-
say.
That's pretty close to an emporium, though. You know, you just kind of morph the two. It works.
Yeah, this is fine. We can
Yeah.
go there. That's where Yoshida said she was going, and that would be. I mean, hopefully this is giving her enough time to talk to her contact.
If it hasn't worked
Um,
out, though, she did say she was kind of uptight, didn't she? If it hasn't worked out, then we're just walking somewhere we shouldn't be. And she knows to find. Well, I guess she can. Oh, she can't talk to us, right?
She
So
can
she only
send a
knows to
message
find us
to
at the
us.
museum.
It's,
Yeah.
I'm looking.
She can send a message.
She can send a message. Yeah.
I know
I-
she can.
She can message. Oh, she can
So-
cast sending.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
she
but
cast
that's a-
sending to Lear or something like that.
She's done it to Lear and as well as Balder.
Well, that's a 50-50 shot if we're being honest. She may send it. She may just walk on back. She may do something that we haven't thought of. So
Actually, you're exactly
That's-
right. It is a 50-50 shot whether Yoshida
Probably
lives.
actually more accurate that she's done something crazy.
that was the third option. Yeah.
There's a 97% chance that at this moment you get a message.
Perfect.
Who does she send it to?
How convenient.
To Sai, actually.
Trying to make amends.
Of course, it's to say.
Hey, buddy. We're cool to stay at the Empyrean Euphoria. Rooms are pricey, but have perks. We should be safe here. It's all good.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay. And I'll just reply back with, "Oh, great! We were actually just talking about you. We'll make our way to you. See you soon."
Okay. It is surprisingly not terribly far from here. A few blocks down. It won't take nearly as much time to work your way through. But as
Are we
you
done here though? I don't feel like
Oh,
we've
yeah.
got. The only information we've really got is don't fuck with the guards. We don't have a way up. We don't.
It goes up,
Really have-
not down. Don't fuck with the guards.
Or if you do, make sure they don't see it coming.
While all this conversation's going on, I'm currently blind and holding on to somebody next to me. Yeah. And then, but I can still, I make it so I can still hear.
I will clarify that when the individual that you did see go up, the guards did nothing. He simply had walked to the center of the circle, and after a few moments, it activated.
I feel like it's more of a notoriety thing to get onto the lift than it is anything else. Because I mean, let's be real. How many people are going to be up on that disc?
Not a lot, but could we get up with just a name? Do we need a special badge? Do we need... They didn't push any buttons, so does it just go up if you're cool enough or rich enough?
I bet if you have the invitation itself, like in your pocket or on your person, it must be like magically linked to this lift.
That or there's
Because-
there's no key, and it just because like when I went with my family, we had an invitation, but I don't remember it being magical or anything. So maybe
But
we
would
were
you
just.
known?
I mean, been a long time. I don't, but I don't remember there was no passcodes or anything, and we just got on the lift and like what we saw, and we went up.
Are you saying
maybe-
I
that
have an idea.
maybe
Will you
it
hang
just
out for a
goes?
second?
Yeah.
Okay. And he won't disappear. He'll just look like he's standing there, and his duplicate will say, "Just wait." And actual Invisible Doman, after he casts Mislead, will just walk over and try and stand on the disc.
Okay. A few moments go by. The lights turn blue. You see the guards both turn confused to face the center of the disc, and it fires up.
I will teleport right next to Ange and drop Mislead.
Okay.
So it just looks like I'm standing in front of you, and then I'm standing next to Ange. That's all it looks like. It just goes up when you stand on it. Guards are there to keep people who shouldn't be on it
Standing
off
on
it.
Standing on it.
The two guards both start moving. One of them goes to the wall and begins pressing something there.
I think it's time to get out of the area. Quick.
I think we found out what we need to find out, but we need our full team. And
Were
I
all of
start
you standing,
leaning towards the Imperium?
like inside the plaza, or you're kind of off by the buildings, kind of?
I would imagine we're off
We're
by
like-
like the buildings.
Hiding
Yeah.
behind the buildings, far out of sight.
Okay. Because what happens is a dome of energy, this blue, the same field that encompassed the arena. If you guys remember seeing that,
Yeah.
springs up into place, and it's just a cylinder. It goes from the base around the plaza, and it seems to extend both ways, all the way around the central spire, in a cone, all the way up to the next tier. Red
The
lights
cylinder
start.
up to the tier goes to a point, and you'll be shoved against it.
No, like it's a cylinder up to the tier
Okay.
to
Okay.
just prevent anybody from getting to the central spire from here. And an alarm immediately starts blaring.
Well, if he didn't know we were in the city, he does now, and that's all that comes across the telepathic. link.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Time to go. And I just start
Time
leading
to
the way
go.
towards the Imperium.
Look confused.
Yeah,
Look drunk, and then I just start kind of leading but staggering.
the
acting.
bright side of this is your faces are no longer showing on the billboard, but a big flashing red and white message is appearing on every billboard that says emergency curfew now in effect. Emergency curfew now in effect.
Let's get
They
to the
turn up-
Imperium quickly.
They turn up quick around here, don't they?
You begin moving, rushing through. You see some of the automatons as they are all falling into rank as they get to the plaza. And the first couple have shown up, and they walk to the blue barrier, turn around, and all like lock into place, and are just starting to fill in as they're pulled off of the streets. Nobody disturbs you as you all walk through until you make it to the Empyrean Euphoria. You push through the silks, the red silks that kind of cover the front door, and push your way through. Yoshida is she's sitting there on like the front desk, like a secretary's desk. There's two large open doors kind of into it, a darker room. You see soft red light. There's some music playing, and you hear some like talking, like emergency, like people like very like what's going on, like from those back rooms. There is a not elderly, but you can tell like an old elven woman. She has the deep creased lines in her face, but she is wearing like a leather suit. Like it has the jacket, the tight, like you can tell she's wearing a corset under the shirt. She has her feet crossed kind of in front of her as she leans against the desk. Tall, like thigh-high black leather boots with high heels. She has like short cropped white hair and a very stern expression. She did say you would be trouble, but I did not think so soon. Yoshta? She whips out like her hand and is pressing the long, like stiletto fingernails under Yoshta's chin. You did not tell me it would be this much trouble so soon. You'll have explaining to do. And we're going to end it there. It's important for Yoshida to be here.
We had the wrong ticket.
Ooh, Dami mommy. Ooh.
We will be back next week, but I believe the 2 weeks after that, we've got just, I think, too many people off for our regular game, so we'll make an announcement as to what we're doing to fill that time. This week, Thursday, Baldur's Gate 3 comes out. And I believe the plan is for at least some of us to be playing that. We'll be streaming on Wednesday, which whoever can be here for that. If we have enough people that are interested, we'll play some Goose Goose Duck. Crafting Bunny, you have a great night as well. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I don't. Do we have anything else we want to just talk about before we end for the night?
I don't think so.
I think
I think we're good. Have an awesome night. Finish just a strong finish to the weekend. We will see you all on Wednesday. Goodbye.
Peace.